What's your age?
32.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a divorce lawyer.
As a divorce lawyer, would you say that divorces are initiated most by men or by women?
Women, 90% of the time.
Why is that the case?
I think that they yap with their friends, and I think they get real frustrated where guys are like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And I think the women just get in their heads and they're like, all right, I'm done.
So it's the women who are sabotaging their own relationships?
That's probably one of the most realest things a divorce lawyer has ever said. Like, you can't disagree with her. And I know some of you guys are hearing that 90% and you're like, wait a minute, when did it go up to 90%? So it's 70% that women initiate divorce, but it goes up to 90% initiation when those women are more college educated. It's also important to note that the more educated the couple in the marriage, the less likely for divorce in total as well. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of it is that they're getting with their girlfriends, they're angry, they just get frustrated, and they have a lot of people in their ears. And I think they just when they're done, they're done.
Look at it.
But surely, as a woman, you shouldn't tolerate any and everything in a relationship.
Definitely not at all, but I feel like things build up really easily with people, and they're talking about it more, where you're like pissed off and you get kind of over it quickly.
But how long have you been a divorce attorney?
Probably since 2016 I've been practicing, and then 2017 officially barred.
So being that you've been in the field for 8+ years, do you think that marriage is outdated now?
I don't know about outdated, but it's more acceptable to get divorced, right? Because we're seeing it a lot more. It's not taboo. So it's changed.
Do you think that sexless marriages can work?
No, and 100%. Every single time, I mostly work for men, so every single time they're in a consult with me, I'm always hearing, I haven't had sex in 10 years, I haven't had sex in 5 years, I haven't had sex in 15 years, and I'm like, here we go again. The sex talk.
I find it so interesting that she paused on the question of whether or not it's outdated. And here's the thing. The majority of men are not scared of marriage. They are scared of divorce. When you hear that of couples that get divorced, 90% is initiated by the woman if they're college educated, it should put some additional information in your mind on how to protect yourself. Now, if this was a country like in the Philippines where there's literally no word for divorce because they cannot get divorced. At the point that you get married, you have to stay married. And they understand the reality of till death do you part, and because of which their marriage rates thrive. And because the feminism hasn't run its course within their culture as much, then their marriages tend to thrive. Let's go.
Single time. So it's you need to make sure you're doing it 3 to 4, I would say 3. 2, sometimes you want to go 2 times, 2 to 3, but it really should be 4. 2 to 4
Them
times
sexless
is ideal.
marriages.
So a lack of sex in these marriages is the most common theme that you're seeing when they end.
Yeah, because it's connected to more of that. It's not just physical. It's all right, well, if you're not into someone and you're disgusted by them and you're pissed off at them, you're not going to be having sex with them, right? Because you're going to be unattracted to them, you're going to be irritated, and you're not going to be into them. So you're not going to be banging them.
So why do you think people stay in these relationships for so long?
I think they stay in it just because it's comfortable and it's easy and it's really hard. This is marriage is a breakup on steroids. If you're gonna get a divorce, it's not just I'm moving my shit out, bye-bye. It's if there's kids involved, forget about it. It's your whole life is upended. It's a major decision. Your family's affected, your life is affected. Half your crap is gone. So it's a little bit tougher than with just a simple breakup.
I think many men are making rational decisions not only through their own experience within their life of seeing their parents more than likely break up, but then also the behavior of many women today are way more egregious in mass than even their mother's generation, and they're making a rational decision.
When a couple goes through a divorce, what's the process typically entail?
Someone has to file, first and foremost, someone's got to file. So you got to fill out the paperwork, file it with the court, and then you've got to serve someone, or they have to sign something saying they've gotten it. So either you have a random stranger who's hired by a service, or you have someone that you know go and hand them the paperwork, which is always awkward.
Yeah.
Or you can tell them, hey, I'm going to divorce you, and you're going to sign this document saying you've received this, which is always awkward.
So wait, they don't send a sheriff out to serve them, or?
You can't, like, some people will do that where you can get a constable, but it's not a sheriff. If there's a restraining order, you get a sheriff to do it.
Okay.
That's a whole nother.
So they sign that. Then what happens?
Then they have in California, they've got 30 days to file a response. In Massachusetts, where I'm also barred, like, they can just respond. So someone has to respond to it and say, all right, yeah, I want a divorce too, and this is what I want to do. And it's a simple paperwork.
So party A agrees for the divorce, and so does party B. Does that mean that they're officially divorced and that's fun, or?
No, I wish. It'd make things a lot easier, but no, you got to go through this whole rigmarole. All right, well, what do you have? Show me your paperwork for the past.
Yeah.
Show me your bank accounts. Show me your credit card statements. Show me everything. I want to see what your financial assets are. So you got to break it down each person, which causes problems, right? Because someone's on OnlyFans, you're seeing it in their bank account. Because unlike, Ashley Madison, they used to hide it as American Bank. OnlyFans just says straight up OnlyFans. They have no shame with their billing. So you start seeing these kind of charges and you go, all right, well, we need to do more. I got to look into this. What else have you done? Have you gone to hotels? I want to see more bank statements. Take me back 5 years.
And so this can expose more infidelity in relationships.
Yeah, and problems. So it's like, all right, now you're doing a deep dive, and now you're starting to snoop through stuff, and you've got some problems.
I think the divorce process should be as public and as known as the engagement process, right? The guy went through all of these things in order to get down on one bended knee. Let's let her go through something outside of no fault divorce, all right? Have the family there, have a celebration. I'm obviously just kidding, but kind of sort of not. Let's go.
Okay. But after that process is done with the financial assets and looking at that, is it just the man so after that part's done, is it the man has made $100K and the girl makes $50K, so the girl gets 25 from the man, or what?
No. Then you're going to be looking at a whole complicated state-by-state calculation of, all right, how long were you married? Who paid what? Who's doing what? Who can earn what? So now you're looking at all the potential of that, and you're going to get a crazy calculation. And if you're married for a decent amount of time, you're going to get some spousal support. If you're, say the guy's paying all the bills, woman's at home, the guy's going to pay up. He's going to be paying a good amount, and it's going to be in California, if it's less than 10 years, he'll be paying half the length of the marriage. Massachusetts, you go, it goes to 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20. It doesn't go, it's more regulated, but it just depends.
Being a divorce lawyer for 8 years, are you for prenups or are you against them?
Prenups are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of prenups. When some of my friends get married, instead of giving them a blender, I give them a prenup.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot more useful, and I just do it for free and set it up. And I know the relationships, you know what to put in there. And it's great. So prenups, and you have a roadmap, basically, of what you're going to do. You can save like $50K on average if you have a prenup, like easily. Because you already say you divide this, do that. And
A lot of people don't realize that if you do not write a prenup, that is effectively the government signing your marriage contract. Why would you want the government to sign any damn thing? Do you think that they have your best interest in mind? Your individual interest. Some guy in some suit in the legislature. Do you think that his wants, needs, or whatever some people voted him office to be able to approve represents what is best for you? So why not forge your own contract? Marriage in the West, to me, would only ever sometimes maybe make sense if a prenup is 100% of the time involved. If she says no to the prenup, it's because she doesn't want you to benefit any more than the government will allow you to benefit, while also knowing that the government will benefit her more often than not, unless she makes substantially more than you.
you can put future stuff in there. So vacation home, okay, I have no vacation home right now, but you put in the prenup and you can divide your vacation home, or say you have a business, divide your business a certain way, you do certain things.
But if prenups are so simple, why are so many women against it?
Because they want as much as they can get, obviously. I mean, you're not going to go to someone and say, hey, you want half can I give you half the amount you're supposed to get? Who would take that deal? Not many people. So it's not a very appealing thing. It's like going to someone who's ordering a sandwich and said, let me give you half the sandwich. Who's going to eat that sandwich? You want the full sandwich.
I totally agree with her. Now, I do think there was a subset of women that have just been brainwashed into not getting a prenup. Oh, he wants a prenup. That must mean he doesn't trust me or he doesn't love me. If you can calmly and rationally explain to them how a prenup protects both of you, and if she still says no, she ain't the one, chief. Sorry, she ain't the one. I would suggest if you're getting serious with a young lady, you have that prenup conversation early to see where her mind is at. But nevertheless, never trust the words. Only trust the actions. Let's go.
And what's the biggest misconception you've noticed when it comes on to divorces?
I don't think they're as taboo as they need to be. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's so bad and it's like ruins your whole life. It doesn't. I think like there's a lot of times where people find their second loves, and that seems to be really amazing, and they seem so much more happier and balanced. So it shouldn't be as taboo, and that's a misconception.
Have you ever had to represent a client over multiple marriages?
Yeah, and every single time I'm like, don't do it, man, don't do it. Can you get a prenup? Can you do something? And I have like multiple clients that are like, all right, here we go again. I just tell them don't do it, and they just do it. And I'm like, all right, see you soon.
See you in 3
Are you
years.
single?
No, I'm married.
How long have you been married?
About 5 years.
So how does your job make you view your relationship with him?
Great question.
Just like more, you're looking out a little bit more. You're like,
Cautious.
all right, I need to maybe work on things a little bit more. You see stuff that's alarming. And when you're dating as a divorce lawyer, it gets a little crazy, right? Because you're like, all right, let me see how he is angry. Let me see how he is when he's sad. Let me make sure I go through a major event before I commit. Let me see how it is living with this person.
Oh, that's funny. Dating like a divorce lawyer is how the typical modern man today dates anyway. Smart, masculine, aware. If you want to say RP aware, modern man today should be dating. Don't be blinded by the fat cheeks, gentlemen. The aestheticness and accuracy that God blessed her facial genetics with. Don't be blinded by that. Look at the actions in different situations, especially when it backs up her against the wall. It's easy to be loved when everything is going well within your life, but far too many of y'all are now pressure testing these chicks to see how she behaves when you're not good, when you're down. And then act surprised when she hops ship. Dog, she was a ship hopper to begin with. You just had a yacht at the time, but now that she perceives your yacht to be a rowboat, she gone.
So you have to be more aware.
So would you say that mentally it still puts a strain on your relationship, or it's just as easy as like working at a 9 to 5?
Wouldn't say with the strain. I think it makes it stronger because you know what not to do. Basically, you're like, all right, if I do this, this might be a problem, because you see so many guys complain about like, my wife didn't do this, my wife didn't do that, and that bothered me. So I make sure not to do those things.
Shout out to The Desirable Truth. Guys, I leave a link to his channel down in the description box down below so you guys can go over and take a look at all of his interview series. But the number one thing that I learned, or probably was reminded in this conversation, is you have to, in the vetting process, take a look at her friend group, okay? Because what she said in the beginning, it's just they begin to yap to each other, right? They begin to yap. They get into these complaint sessions. We already know that women experience a lot more neuroticism, which is they ruminate more on negative thoughts about themselves or perception of thoughts of actions towards them. So when they get into groups, neurotic ass groups, where they begin to talk about their relationships and the men, their negative emotions begin to become sport. Businesses have known about this for generations now, especially media companies who placate to these emotions and create talk shows such as The View or The Real, where they echo these sentiments or thoughts. But yeah, this is statistics, and it's proven that women will more often throw away a family because they view the grass is greener on the other side. And a lot of this is led by the discussion of their other single ass homegirls, and as well as the perception given to them via mainstream media. You cannot get divorced unless you get married. It's literally the first step in getting divorced. Now, whether or not you get married or not is going to be dependent upon your religious prescriptions, and as well as what you think about having kids out of wedlock if you want to have kids. But I can guarantee you this: if you do get married and you allow the government to sign your shit, you are putting yourself in way more risks than what's necessary. Again, shout out to this content creator. Link down in the description box down below if you want to go watch the remainder of his content. Last but not least, join my men's self-development community. Link to it down in the description box down below. We're going absolutely up in 2025 and beyond, amplifying as well as expanding our mindsets, especially when it comes to financial education, becoming wealthy and and financially independent into the future. If you're interested in joining the brotherhood of like-minded men, and click that link down below, beam up, and I will see you guys soon. Until next time, YouTube, peace.
She belongs to the street.
Girl, don't hold my hand. You a mattress actress on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do when you get too old to strip and dance? Get up out your echo chamber screaming period and yes. You a low down dirty woman if you try to get knocked up by a high value man.